What's going on, traders? Hope everyone's having a good day. Before we start, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So today was pretty lackluster, boring, nothing much happened. It was more so of a scalpers, day traders type of day. And I told you guys in the last video that I think CPI is going to come in good, and it pretty much came in flat, which is not really bullish, but not really bearish at the same time. And we kind of saw the results of that today, where the market didn't really know what it wanted to do. It was more so of a stop hunting type of day, and we saw some upside, we saw some downside, but we really didn't do too much. We really didn't go anywhere in regards to that CPI data. And so I'm led to believe that since market makers don't have a clue what they want to do right now, or the entire market as a whole, we have to assume that heading into tomorrow that unemployment claims is going to be the news of all news. And we have core retail at 8:30 Eastern, we have retail sales, but more importantly, we have this unemployment claim, and then we have some FOMC members speaking as well. So heading into tomorrow, tomorrow is going to be pretty much the biggest day of the week, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that is because last time we had unemployment claims, the market pretty much tanked. I wouldn't say last time, but the time before last time, the market pretty much tanked. So this is the area where we make or break it. All right. We either are going to rally higher or we're going to see a drop. And I can't say for sure if it's going to be the correction part two that I've been talking about, or it can be just a dip and maybe we head higher. We'll have to see how the market digests the news tomorrow. Now, last time when unemployment claims came in too high, it was about 4.3. We saw the market pretty much tank. And right now, we're pretty much in that dangerous territory that I've been talking about, where I've been warning you guys to be cautious. And we're looking at the ES daily time frame here. Now, as you guys can see, we've been making lower highs across the board. We have a high here, lower high here, and we could potentially make another lower high in this area. And I've been talking about this for quite some time now, that we could see a move all the way to 5,500, between 5,500, 5,600, and possibly sell off. Now, today we saw in full effect just how powerful these bears are in this area. And I've been talking about this in a few videos now, where there's a lot of bearish candles in this area, way more than bullish candles. We have a lot of engulfing candles. We have a dark cloud cover pattern here, bearish candle, well, this is a doji, bullish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle, bullish candle. You guys get the idea, right? So basically what I'm saying is in this area, there's a lot of bears here. And I've said this before that we would need absolutely amazing news for us to really break out of here or reject from this point. Okay. But right now, I told you guys in the last video that as long as we're above 5,440, there's potential for more upside. But what we really want to see is a move above 5,500 if we are bullish. Now, if you're bearish, then you want to see us get back below 5,440 on the ES. And that way, we'll start making a lower high and potentially start making a lower low and head towards the 200 daily SMA, which is around the 5,000 range on the ES. But let's talk about what happens if we do go higher. So what I would like to see as far as the ES go, and we'll talk about the SPY, triple Qs, and all that if you're new to the channel, um, is we've been talking about this channel here for quite some time, right? We've been talking about this channel. It's going to be a little off, sorry, but you guys get the idea, right? But regardless, we've been trading within this channel for about a year or so. Okay, we bounced here, we bounced here, we bounced here, we attempted to bounce here, we consolidated, and then we finally broke down. So this shows just how powerful this channel is, and there is a higher chance of us rejecting from here just based off how powerful this channel is. Now, if we manage to break back into this channel, then things we can start having different conversations as far as that potential drop that I've been talking about all this time. We can start changing the sentiment, or at least I can, right? And I tell you guys all the time, if we can roll back into a pattern, chances are we're going to go in that direction or continue in that direction. And I'm going to show an example here and there, so bear with me. But what we want to see is not only us get above 5,500 if we're bullish, but we also want to see us break back within this channel that we've been trading in for about a year now. Okay, so something to pay attention to. However, if unemployment claims comes in hot, I'm sorry I was a bit zoomed out. Maybe I'm hoping you guys would have saw that. But if unemployment claims comes in hot, I can't imagine it coming in higher than 4.3. But if it does, then that can definitely drop us. Okay, so pay attention. Wait 30 minutes after open. Wait for the news to digest, and then make adjustments from there. Now let's talk about the NQ. And so the NQ, when we're looking at the NQ, we're pretty much looking at the same scenario here. Let's get rid of this because it's kind of distracting. But we're pretty much looking at the same scenario as far as the NQ, right? We bounced off this trend here, we bounced here, we bounced here, we bounced here. We essentially did the same thing that we saw on the ES. And right here, once again, this is the area where we were having a hard time breaking past, which is why the market was pretty boring today and you really couldn't see any momentum to the upside, yet alone the downside. If anything, you probably got a little more downside than upside in regards to the market. And so right now we're right here. We're at this daily supply and demand zone. As you guys can see, NQ is just making dojis around this area. It's not really making a real decision right now. This actually is the daily time frame, so we can actually go to the 4 hour time frame. And we can see that NQ is pretty much playing around in this area. There's really not much to go off of here. Maybe potentially some type of double top forming right here, but we can't really say for sure. But regardless, NQ is pretty much just in this daily supply and demand zone. So we want to be careful. Now, what I will say is that this area right here is very illiquid, very illiquid. So we do have potential to start heading towards 19,500, which I think I talked about in the last video, that that is a potential target. 19,500 psych level, 19,600. Highest we can potentially look at is about 19,900, 19,800 range, right where this gap is. All right. So that's what I'm looking at as far as upside. Now, if unemployment claims comes in hot, or bad, or if the market decides to react to it in a bad way, even if it came in good, because the market tends to do that sometimes, we could be looking at more downside. And I told you guys in previous videos that we could be looking at a move all the way down to 17,200, 17,000. Now, obviously, our first target will be 17,800, which we will want to see break if we're bearish. And then after 17,800, we want to pretty much stop these bulls out of their position with this candle right here and break lower below 17,300, 17,200, give or take. After that, we could be looking into the 16,000s range, but we'll talk about that if we ever get close to that point. So pretty much the same thing we're looking at as far as NQ. Let's look at the triple Qs. Actually, let's look at the SPY since we want to go in order here. All right. So as far as the SPY goes, so the SPY is pretty much looking the same as what we saw on the ES. I'm not sure what happened here. Sorry about that. But as far as the SPY goes, we have a little more space to that 550 target. And I talked about this in the last video where I think we're going to head towards 550, but once we get here in this area, we gotta be careful. We really have to be careful here. This is actually off a little bit. My trend lines are just all over the place. They're doing their own thing today. So bear with me here. So as far as the SPY goes, we could be looking at a move towards 550 heading into tomorrow. After 550, we're looking at a move to 552, 553, give or take. But in order for me to change my sentiment on another drop coming, I want to see the SPY get above 556 and actually hold it. 556 and then 560, you're really cooking. Okay, you're really cooking. And then at that point, I do think we're going to start heading towards previous highs, if not all-time highs. And if we do just so happen to head to all-time highs, I'm looking at a target of 580, 600 on the SPY. Now, I don't think all new highs is going to happen, at least for the month of August. Maybe Nvidia earnings can make that happen. But for now, short term, I don't think we're going to see new highs, especially off unemployment claims. I think more so Jerome Powell or Nvidia earnings will be the cause of new highs across the market. But for now, my suggestion is, or what I plan on doing, is just focusing on potentially previous highs. If not, if we do just so happen to reject from the 550 area, let's actually mark it out for you guys. I got to remember to do that because I just think it looks better when we mark things out here. So this potential move right here where we pretty much reject off 550, 552, give or take, and then we start heading towards the 200 daily SMA at around 504. So that would give us not only a lower high, so we get up to 550, we not only create somewhat of a lower high, well, not somewhat, but an actual lower high. Come on, work with me here. All right, so we create a lower high, but we also, if we do just so happen to reject and whatever bad news causes us to really start heading down, maybe the war news, maybe the unemployment claim starts causing that effect, Jerome Powell, Nvidia earnings, whatever the case may be, if we just so happen to reject from here, then we could potentially be looking at a lower low. All right, we have our lower low here, and then we'll be looking at a lower low at around a 200 daily SMA. And you guys know one of my targets is 504, 502 on the SPY. But where's the lowest we can go? Because we talked about how high we can go. Right now, I'm looking at 480. 480 will be our monthly support level. And if the SPY just so happens to hit 480, I think that's a I think that's an easy bounce off there. All right. But we'll talk about that if we ever get close to that target. Right now, we're going to focus on what's close by and what's more realistic right now. And right now, we're looking at a potential move to either 580, 600, or we're looking at a move towards 504, given what news comes in. All right, so that's what I'm looking at as far as the SPY. As far as Bitcoin goes, so nothing much has changed on Bitcoin. It's just still doing the same thing over and over. I'm still bearish on it. If it breaks 58K, then you're looking at a move to 55K. If we're going to consider Bitcoin a leading indicator, I'm going to assume that it is waiting on the market or is waiting on the same news as the market, which is unemployment claims, core retail data, whatever the case may be. But right now, nothing about Bitcoin looks bullish. It's below the 200 daily SMA. We zoom in, we see that it is constantly rejecting the 62K area, the 60K. It failed to even hold above 60K. It tried, but it failed to hold it. So I have to say that we're still bearish. If it gives up 58K, you're looking at a move to 55K easy. And then after 55K, you're looking at a move to 52K and then 50K. And you guys know my bearish target on Bitcoin is about 45K, 44K, give or take. As far as upside, if we want to see highs or newer highs, or if I want to change my sentiment as far as another drop coming on Bitcoin, which it just doesn't look like it right now. I'm looking at 65K. We want to get above 65K, but for me to be like really, really bullish, and I mean excited for Bitcoin, I want to see a break out of this area right here, above 70,500. We break out of here, we could possibly be looking at all-time highs on Bitcoin all over again. We rejected here, we rejected here, we rejected here, we rejected here, we rejected here. So this is a very, very, very strong area. 70,500 market at that point, I think we can easily start seeing 80K. But for now, Bitcoin just still looks bearish, guys. That's the best I can give you right now. So let's talk about the VIX. So the VIX is like the main thing that's kind of bothering me on both ends, right? And so the same rules apply when it comes to trading as far as I'm concerned here. So in regards to the VIX, so bear with me here. It looks crazy, but just bear with me, all right? So as far as the VIX go, let's actually get rid of some of this. We don't need all this. There we go. Get rid of this too. So in regards to the VIX, so I told you guys about this channel, and before the market drop and everything, I think it was the video like literally the day before the market tanked to like 17K or whatever, 17,000 or 18,000. I can't remember for sure. But regardless, when VIX dropped, I mean, broke out of this channel, I warned you guys, or I said, if it breaks out of this channel, this thing is going to go absolutely ballistic. And that's exactly what happened. It went to $65. Now, I didn't think it would go to 65. That was actually insane, but it did. But now VIX is in a weird spot. Okay. So I told you guys, if we roll back into this channel, then chances are we're going to continue in this direction, right? And we said I talked about this before earlier in the video that when you roll back into a pattern, a channel, whatever the case may be, you're going to continue in that direction. I've proven this strategy over and over and over again. We have yet to fail with it as far as this rolling over strategy. So, keep it in mind. Okay, keep it in mind if you draw a bear flag or you see an ascending triangle, you roll back into these patterns, there's a high chance that you're going to continue back in that direction. We've seen it many times before. So what I will say is that the VIX can visit $15. There is the 200 daily SMA. Now I'm not going to sit here and act like the VIX really respects the 200 daily SMA, but still I would rather keep it in mind than act like it doesn't exist. So the lowest we could be looking at as far as the VIX is $13. Now this trend here. that we are currently at on the VIX. Let's try to zoom in here. So this trend here, right here, this is a weekly trend. Okay, so that's what's kind of bothering me right now. It's not something that has me panicking because by all means, the VIX can just easily spike below this and then spike back up. It could do one of those moves. So I'm not really like terrified or anything like that. But I will say it's just something to keep in mind here. And if we're correlating this with what we've seen on the NASDAQ, or not even the NASDAQ, but the ES and where it is, like I told you guys, we're in dangerous territory on the ES if you are looking to be bullish. Right here, ES, we look at the SPY, same thing. Okay, we look at the SPY, it's the same exact thing. Okay, so we want to be careful here. I just realized I didn't even go over the triple Qs. I apologize, guys. Okay, so triple Qs, triple Qs. So my point on the VIX is to be very cautious. Okay, everything is in a dangerous area. That was my point on the VIX. Okay, and I was trying to correlate that with the Nasdaq and the ES and just how things look on both charts. Everything is in a critical area. All right, so hopefully we got that part. Now, as far as the triple Qs go, the triple Qs actually looks better. But here's my issue, guys. Here's my issue. When from I've been trading for 12 years, right? And I'm not the type. I don't act like I know it all or anything like that. I am always willing to learn. I'm always open to learning. But when it comes to experience, I have to say that a lot of my experience have helped me be a better trader. And that should be the same for everyone across the board. And what I will say is during my experience, if the Nasdaq and the triple Qs or even the ES and SPY are not in agreement, a trap could be coming. All right. And what do I mean by that? So this channel right here, so you guys know I didn't force it or anything like that. We bounced here, we bounced here, we broke below it. Now we're breaking back in it. Now remember when I said if you roll back into a pattern, chances are you're going to continue in that direction. This rule applies still. Now, I've never seen us roll out of a pattern, break down, and roll back immediately back into the pattern. That's a new one to me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I rarely see that. So I can't say for sure this move is legit, but the fact that we are still above 460 is still bullish as far as the triple Qs go, and we could see a move towards 480 on the triple Qs. Now, another potential move that we could be looking at right here is that, and I think I mentioned this in the last video, where we see a move to about 470, 472 range, and then we start to break back down, revisit that 460, maybe form some type of head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders pattern, and then we start heading towards all-time highs, new highs, whatever the case may be. We look right here, we have a shoulder here, and I'm not much of a fan of a shoulder that doesn't have really any bulls in it, but still, if it looks like the pattern, assume that it is until otherwise. If we start forming a shoulder here, and we stay within this channel, that's very, very good for the Bulls. I will say that much. But here's my issue: the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is not in agreement right now, and when that happens, a lot of times that leads into a trap because a lot of traders don't like looking at futures. Trust me, I've seen it all the time. Okay, a lot of traders just don't like looking at the Nasdaq or the ES, and they just think, if I just look at the Qs and the SPY, I just get enough information off that. But not all the time are they in agreement. Majority of the time, at least good 98% of the time, I made that number up, run with it, whatever, let's go with it. Okay, but a good percentage of the time they are in agreement. But when they're not in agreement, and again, I can show you guys once again, I didn't force anything. I didn't try to make anything look different. We bounced here, we bounced here, we bounced here. We consolidated up here, we broke down, and now we're back at the bottom of this channel. This is actually a channel. I don't know why the top trend always disappears. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm losing my mind. I don't know. But regardless, we're back here. So what I'm saying is that the Qs looks great. It looks absolutely great. We broke back into this channel. I have nothing. I have no complaints. I can't say that we're bearish right now on the triple Qs. It looks bullish. But the Nasdaq looks completely different. We're at a critical area here on the Nasdaq. So either the Nasdaq is going to jump right in, jump along with the triple Qs, or the triple Qs is going to follow the Nasdaq. All right, because they both look different. So either bulls are going to get trapped here or bears are going to get trapped here. For example, okay, and then I'll let it go. I'm sure a lot of you already understand, but maybe some people are new here. let's say you only look at the triple Qs, and this is all you see. You just look at the triple Qs. You never look at the Nasdaq. You're like, I hate looking at futures. Blah blah blah. Right? You're like, oh, this is bullish, and then you start getting calls. Okay, you just start loading up on calls. You're like, oh yeah, this thing is totally heading to 480, whatever the case may be, 460, and suddenly tomorrow, the next day, whatever the case may be, we sell off, and you're like, what happened? Well, look at the Nasdaq. All right, look at what happened on the Nasdaq. We are right here at a very critical area, and if we reject here, well, that's why we sold off. And let's say you are the type of trader that only looks at the Nasdaq, and you're like, the ETFs don't give me enough information; they're just useless, right? Whatever the case may be, because you have traders like that, and you're like, oh, time to get puts immediately. Let's get puts here, and then you're like, oh well, and then tomorrow we just start going crazy. We rally to the upside and you're confused on why. Well, the triple Qs looks absolutely bullish. So someone is going to get screwed over in this scenario. Okay, that's my overall point here. So hopefully that made sense. So be very cautious. If you're already in calls or puts, then good luck. Regardless, I really hope you make money. I hope everyone makes money. I hope everyone succeeds in this. But right now, the fact that the Qs and the NQ are just not in agreement right now it's pretty scary. ES and SPY absolutely in agreement. They're in this. They're in this together right now. So do the math, okay? Do the math here. What's looking more likely like right now? And I'm not guaranteeing anything. I don't know how unemployment claims is going to come in. I'm going to assume that it's going to do well given what we've seen with PPI and CPI, but things can change, okay? And given where we are, we could be looking at another drop, okay? We could be. All right? We can also be looking at more upside, all right? But me, I'm still I'm still leaning more bearish as far as the next few weeks or so. Until we start breaking above that level of 556, then that's all I got. Now, let's look at some stocks real quick. Let's look at Apple. So Apple is one of the few stocks that actually look good and looks like it could potentially see 230, 235. Right here, we broke above, what was it? We broke above 219, 220 range, and it looks like Apple could potentially go higher. And if Apple goes higher, then there's a chance that the market will follow along with Apple. Now, Apple has a habit of doing its own thing a lot of times, and sometimes the market ignores it. That could be the case. But right now, I really don't have anything bad to say about Apple in regards to everything else. What I will say is this move right here, I'm not a fan of. This right here, not a fan of. Okay, this just up, 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 up. Like that's scary. All right, and we've actually seen this move like on even the not even no, not the Nasdaq, the triple Qs. I want to say like these moves that we're seeing on the ETFs and a lot of stocks are not normal. I will say that much. These are not normal moves, guys. Okay, maybe I'm just being paranoid. I don't know, but this is not a normal move I would like to see. Okay, so that's just something to look out for. It can be absolutely nothing, but it looks like a V-shaped recovery, but it's there's no drawback. Like there's no pullback. There's nothing. So just something to pay attention to. It could be nothing, all right. But regardless, let's look at another stock. Let's look at Amazon. So Amazon still looking good, okay? Despite what happened today, Amazon is still looking good. So we are still above our ascending triangle. Now I kind of wish we got a bigger move, and we're still not in that liquidated area. I know you're like, well, in the last video you said if we get in this liquidated, we're still not there, guys. Okay, we're still within this wick territory. Okay, we need to get where this big candle is. This is the very liquid area. Okay, so if I have to guess, maybe unemployment claims makes it happen. Not sure. I was assuming that CPI will make it happen, but CPI came in flat. So nothing pretty much happened off that. But right now, Amazon is still above this ascending triangle. It still looks fine. If I were to make a stop loss right now, I would say 168, 169. What 169 and 168 if you really want to push it. It breaks below 168, which is right back inside this ascending triangle. Then chances are you want to run for the hills. It's above the 200 daily SMA. It's above the ascending triangle. I have nothing bad to say about Amazon. Let's talk about Tesla. So Tesla, and what I've noticed across the board, there's ascending triangles like everywhere, guys. So that's another thing that I wanted to mention. There are ascending triangles all over the place within the market and across a lot of these stocks right now. I don't know what this is, so I'm going to get rid of it. I mean, as you guys can see, I mean, look at it. We are trading within this ascending triangle. Tesla looks like, and but the only issue with Tesla right now is it's below the 200 daily SMA. If it can get back above 203 and reclaim 203, I definitely think Tesla is going to head higher. I still think Tesla is going to head higher. It's just a matter of when. Probably by next week we'll see a move to 225. But across the board, we're seeing ascending triangles like everywhere. All right, Amazon, Tesla is one. I mean, this is clean as day. You have a flat top. You're continuing to make higher lows. You have a higher low here, higher low here, higher low here. This could turn into a higher low depending on the news tomorrow. If we break below this, then yeah, it can get scary. But regardless, right now, ascending triangles all over the place. Let's talk about Nvidia. I can't remember everything I saw. I was seeing ascending triangles all over the place. I can't remember every stock, so I do apologize. I probably should have kept track of that. Nvidia still looks bullish. Okay, it still looks bullish. It's a bit off. Still looks bullish. It still is above 115, 116 range. Definitely think Nvidia can see 120, 123 range sometime this week. So just something you have to wait on. Right now, I just can't really say anything bad about Nvidia. It just doesn't look bearish right now. It's above the 200 daily SMA. Let's look at the daily time frame. Maybe we could find something there. I mean, nope, can't find anything there as well. If Nvidia gets above 125, start packing your bags because we're going to the moon at that point. Okay, so get ready for that. All right, if it does happen. Okay, if it don't happen, then it's oh well. Um, there's also I'm just noticing this. This is a hangman pattern. This is a bearish pattern. Granted, it's very yeah. That's a bearish pattern. That's a bearish pattern. So if you need an example of what a hangman looks like, this right here, this guy right here, boom, hangman drops. Okay. Um, I can't say too much about the green hangmans, if you want to even call them that, but gap down, recovered. So that's a little scary there. Maybe we'll find other examples. I pointed out hangmans on this channel like plenty of times, but yeah, Nvidia, that doesn't look good. Okay, that doesn't look good. If Nvidia tanks, guys, yeah, the market is going to just plummet right along with it. So that is something to consider, and definitely. All right, yeah, you guys get the idea. I mean, yeah, just be careful, okay? Nvidia, that's a very bearish pattern, okay? But again, I still think Nvidia has the potential as long as we stay above 115. We rejected it multiple times today. I have to assume that Nvidia is going to want to head towards 120, 123, give or take. Okay, so let's look at the weekly time frame. Maybe something's there. I mean, very strong bullish candles. I will say that much. But yeah, that hangman pattern is pretty scary. Feel free to Google it. I would show it, but last time I did that, people were like freaking like complaining and wanting me to do way more in the comments. So do what you want with that. QCOM. Now I feel like I got to look at the daily time frame on like every stock to make sure I don't see anything crazy. Okay, so QCOM. QCOM still above 167. It closed above 167. QCOM looks absolutely fine. It's above the 200 daily SMA. Another ascending triangle. Let's go to a smaller time frame. So we have another ascending triangle. QCOM retested the ascending triangle. If QCOM just so happens to get a below close below 160, where's that 164, then yeah, QCOM can head much lower at that point, and at that point I think QCOM would just start heading towards the 150s, to, if I'm being honest. But right now I still have a target of 180 on QCOM. I think it's going to head there, 190 being the highest, so be on the lookout for that. But yes, we have another ascending triangle. Okay, if I look hard enough there, I've seen a lot of them. I just didn't mark them on everything I've seen. TLT. So TLT, like I said, guys, slow climber, but it's getting there. Okay, it is definitely getting there. Okay, you just got to give it time. Okay, let it cook. Okay, it's not a rocket ship. It's not one of those things that moves overnight. You got your inverse head and shoulders pattern here. You got your shoulder here, head here, shoulder here. Broke out. It actually looks better on a weekly time frame. Yeah, super clean inverse head and shoulders pattern. As you guys can see, this dark cloud cover is pretty much just getting destroyed right now. So if we close out bullish this week on TLT, then this thing can definitely go higher. And my price target is 105, 110 on TLT. And I believe I believe that's it. Okay, I do believe that's it. If you guys want me to go over specific stocks, preferably like stocks with actual market caps, not penny stocks or anything like that, feel free to comment below, and let me know what stocks you guys want me to focus on. Other than that, that's really all I have for this video. I really appreciate the support, guys. We've been growing every single day on the YouTube channel and the Discord. It's been really great. So again, appreciate the support. Can't thank you enough. I'm gonna thank you guys every video, so get used to it, okay? Um, Discord link is in the description below if you want access to our plays. If you want access to text message alerts sent directly to your phone, it does cost a little more because it is a third party, and I have to pay that third party, and I have to do a whole my business had to do a whole background check just to get asked be approved for that. But it is $10 more than the Discord. But if you don't want to go through an app just to get information, not information, but just plays in general, then I think that would be for you. Maybe you're too busy, maybe you're working, maybe you have kids running around all over the place. I do prefer people to get into the SMS text messages. But by all means, you don't have to join either Discord or the text messages. I will continue to provide value, or at least try my best to provide value on this channel. Your support, your subscription, your comments, they really help, whether they're good or bad. And that's all I have for this video. So be careful tomorrow. Unemployment claims, very big event. And until the next video, traders, have a good one.